In the Nasdaq Sniper Academy, you don't get graded on how much money you made on a trade. You get graded on whether you were patient enough to wait for the setup to present itself before taking a shot. In this video, I'm going to show you what a sniper does, how I waited patiently for the setup to show itself before taking a trade. Let's take a look to learn how we could master the open by waiting. Let's take a look. All right, folks. So this is a recap of Friday, April 10th. And here we are at 8:29, looking for a market to open for this 8:30 candle. So what we're going to be watching is, are we going to get a fair value gap, right, on the first 3 minutes? So you see this first candle open, you see this big push down. So I'm sitting here looking at this going, you know what, this ain't that strong. Yeah, it's green, but it's getting a lot of resistance. So for right now, I'm just going to sit back in the weeds. I already have my limit order set inside this fair value gap back here. My bias is bullish, right? The trend is your friend. You know, continuation, consolidation, manipulation, continuation. So now it's consolidating, and then it should manipulate again. It should pull back into this area to go back up. So I want it on the manipulation. I want to buy when this pulls back. So even though it's looking green right now, as snipers, we don't chase price. We're not excited. We're not going to get monkey brain and just jump in this. We want it to come back into support, right? Which is somewhere in here. So let's zoom in closer. So what we can see is we have the price starting to sell off and starting to pull back a little bit. And we see no fair value gap, nothing in this area, right? First 3 minutes, 1, 2, 3, there's no fair value gap right in here. Nothing, no fair value gap. So no fair value gap, no trade. So now I am not waiting for this thing, or I'm not expecting this to be green all day. And I have the video sped up so that we can get through this quick. Now, you see price pulls back. So I'm just sitting back watching. There's no setup here. There's nothing to do. I know we're in a mid state. I like to trade off of a narrow state or a wide state. Price open in what we call a mid-range state. So we're watching it close, right? Again, no setup. I want price to come back. I'm willing to wait. I'm okay if I don't even take a trade. As a sniper, we have to know what not to trade. We have to know that this, for us, is trash. Other people might trade it. This isn't what we look for. We have the 2-minute parent down here. That's the 2-minute 200 SMA, and the 5-minute parent down here, right? That's the 200 SMA on the 5 minutes. So now we see price breaking. It's coming down. We're still patient. I have my limit order set right here. But I'm willing to watch it. If it gets some strength a little bit above it, then that's okay. If the setup presents itself. I'm just a candle watcher. I'm just waiting for price to present itself. So we see price still kind of bouncing around. It just came down and it bounced off of the 200 SMA on the 1-minute chart. So that's what this is. This is the 200 SMA. So we got a little bounce off of that, right? And again, all we do is sit back and wait. This is still rangy garbage. This isn't stuff that we're excited about. There's no setup yet, right? We want price to come into this support area, manipulate into here first, and then go up. So now what I'm going to do is, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to just draw out, okay, the 5-minute ORB. You know, at this point, it's 8:50. 20 minutes have gone by. But we still been ranging inside this 5-minute ORB, right? And we're in mid-state within the 5-minute ORB. We have a fair value gap right here. But I'm not taking this short. I'm not selling this. Here's why. Because of the location, gentlemen. We're above the 200 SMA in a mid state in the middle of the 5-minute ORB. That's a no trade, no go. If we were underneath the 1 minute in a bearish market, that might be a trade. But that's not a trade we take just because the fair value gap showed up. It's in the wrong state. Plus, the bias is bullish. So we do nothing. We sit and wait. So what I like to do, I like to write on my screen, right, to remind myself of what's really happening. I'm like, oh, this is range chop. So that tells me, hey, sniper, don't do nothing, bro. This is range chop. Just sit back and chill. Then I also like to write if there's news coming up to remind myself so I don't forget. So I wrote it on here. Hey, news in 5 minutes, right, at 9 o'clock. So sit back, chill, don't do nothing. So I wait and I'm watching, right? I'm watching price chop around inside the 5-minute ORB. I know I got news coming up in a couple minutes, so I need to wait to see what happens with news. Okay, here we are. 9 o'clock happens. Okay, bam, we got news. I'm watching it come down in price, bounce off the 1 minute parent. Again, there's no setup yet. I want to see price come down into this little support area. This is just rangy chop. It's trash. I don't trade this trash. This is garbage. I just wait. That's what we do as snipers, gentlemen. So just there, bam, little VWAP, right? VWAP bounce, that's what that was. Because that green line is the VWAP. But there's no setup yet. But we see buyers are willing to step in this area somewhere. So usually first VWAP touch in a long time gets a nice little bounce. That was the first VWAP touch in about 3-4 hours. That's pretty normal. Standard VWAP bounce. I'm still being patient. At this point, I haven't taken a trade yet. You know, it's 3 minutes after 9. It's been 33 minutes. I haven't taken a trade. It's been 34 minutes now. No trade. Just watching. So we see price bounce around VWAP, and we're being patient. I have to see it break underneath VWAP first. I want to see it come down, manipulate first. It has to manipulate people. Here it is. There it is. Now it's faking people out. People are thinking, oh, it's time to short, right? Here's what they're thinking. I already know what they're thinking. Oh, it broke underneath the VWAP. So they're getting hurt right now. Because they're thinking, oh man, it's going to break all the way down to new lows, right? We broke underneath the VWAP. Let's sell, right? And those are the rookies. They don't know. They're selling into support. We don't sell this, gentlemen, because you'd be selling into some major support. This is a trend. Pull back. So now I see, oh, it got a little support. So I'm like, okay, let's see what's happening. So I zoom in. It didn't come all the way down to my zone, but it's close enough. And what do I see right here? I see a fair value gap, a red fair value gap, small one. It gets taken out. Price bounces back above the VWAP. So now I'm like, okay, let's see, will I get another fair value gap with the market structure shift? So now I draw my line right here. This is what I'm doing. I'm drawing my line for the market structure shift. Bam. Market structure shift. Okay. This is the setup. This is what I've been waiting for. My setup, right? At place of support. So bam, we buy right there.
Order filled.
Because we got a strong candle above the market structure shift. I'm pretty confident it's going to close above. Got about 10 seconds left on this candle. This fair value gap, this red tank was taken out. A new fair value gap, a new tank has stepped in. Price broke back above the VWAP, broke the market structure shift. Bam, gentlemen, that's when we take our shot. It's 9:34, 9:30 or 9:13 or whatever. So We waited 33 minutes before we took a shot because this was trash. There was no setup. This is the setup. So then I got my adder inside the fair value gap. I want price to come back into the fair value gap, pick up my other contract, and then go to the moon, or at least break this, the top, right, of the 5-minute ORB, top of the session's high. My stop is according to structure, right, underneath the last swing, and I'm looking for price to come and grab me. So I switch to the 2-minute here, and what I'm looking at for the 2-minute, I see that price bounced. It bounced off the 200 SMA, which is right here. But what I'm looking for right now is this going to be an Oliver Velez? If this bar goes strong green and gives me a fair value gap, then I know it's Oliver Velez, and I know we're going to be trending all day. I draw my trend line here. You see we broke clean above it, right? This is the 200 SMA right here. So we got this nice push off the 200 SMA on the 2-minute chart. I'm still got my adder in here if it breaks back, for a break and retest, comes and picks me up to add. And, but I get no fair value gap. I get this bar red. So now I know it's not going to be Oliver Velez. I know it's not going to be strong power all day. It's still good because I got 2 fair value gaps now on a 1-minute chart. I switched to the 1-minute chart. I put my other adder inside the second fair value gap, but price continues to break to take out this liquidity up here without picking me up. All right. So as you can see, I'm only in for 1 micro. Price went up. It grabbed the liquidity, and that was it. So once it grabs that liquidity up there, right, now I got to put in the new market structure, which is right here for this trend. Now I take out my adder. I just go to break even, because if price comes back and breaks, then I just stop off for a break even, which is actually what happened. So again, we're not graded on how much we make. It's not about the money. It's did we wait for the setup, right? Did we get in right? Now, next time I'll get in for 2 and then maybe add 1 or so. But I want you to see one last time what we did, what we waited for. And then we're done, gentlemen. Price was choppy, choppy, choppy. It came down. It gave us this IFVG, inverted fair value gap, at the 200 SMA. Closed it, new fair value gap. So there you have it, folks. That's how you wait. That's what you look for. The key to trade mastery is being patient to wait for your setup to show itself, present itself, then take the trade. As long as we continue to do that and focus on mastering that, the outcome will take care of itself. The money will come in the end. Just focus on being patient, knowing what to look for, where the support is, knowing that it's going to manipulate before it goes up in a trend. Get ready for that manipulation. Wait for the setup to take place. IFVG, boom. New FVG, bam. Market structure shift, body above, boom, enter. If it pulls back into the fair value gap, add more. Take your profit at the next swing high. The Nasdaq Sniper here giving you the game. This is just lesson 1 of a 12-part series on mastering the Nasdaq Open. If you continue to watch all 12 videos, I promise you, even though I'm not a financial expert, I can't give advice. However, if you do that and you're successful at being patient and waiting for this setup, you're a multimillionaire in the near future. Happy trading. God bless, and stay focused.